Welcome to Frederick at its best. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. Each week we try to recognize good things happening in our community, and today we're going to recognize our career firefighters for offering a class to our local elected officials and their staffs called Fire Ops 101. And I really want to recognize them for putting together this program to really show the elected officials what it's like to be a firefighter. And I will say that it was a very difficult and challenging experience. The firefighters held really a day-long event where they suited us up, which that in and of itself takes a little bit of effort. And they ran us through some exercises, including the burn building, the maze, an exercise with somebody who was on, I believe, the third floor who had a cardiac arrest, and also using the hearse tool to try to do extrication from a vehicle. Now, I will say that personally, I really did find this to be very difficult just to carry all of the equipment, and it does change your center of balance, and to be able to go into a burn building and experience the using a face mask for breathing. And I thought the hardest thing that I did was try to lift the hearse tool to work on a car, because actually it weighs about 50 pounds. So being able to lift it, carry it, and figure out how to work it really takes some physical capability. And to do that quickly, calmly, when you have a person that you're trying to assist, has to really be a phenomenal challenge. So one of the most interesting things I learned, which may affect some of my future decision making, is that the boots that we buy for everybody are very uncomfortable. And if you want to walk in them, I can't imagine going up a ladder in these boots that aren't very flexible. So what I found out is most of our staff actually buys a different pair of boots that they can work in every day, rather than what the county issues to them. So we did have fun. I think people are still talking about it, and we did learn a lot. So I do think it helps us to appreciate your jobs every day. And we did hear the message of needing more staff, and to make sure that we have enough people on the scene to deliver whatever service is provided, and that sometimes that doesn't work. So in addition to myself, from my office, we also had our communications director, Vivian Laxton, our government affairs and public policy director, Roger Wilson. From the county council, we had Vice President MC Keegan-Air and council members Jessica Fitzwater and Tony Schmelik. We had aides to Delegate Karen Lewis-Young and Delegate William Folden, and we did have Susan Reeder Jesse, I always do that, from the Fire Advisory Board. So the scenarios are similar to the training firefighters go through, but certainly I don't think they have the assistance that we had in helping to put us together. I let everybody speak to what they learned and what the experience was like for them, and we'll hear from President John Neary of the International Association of Firefighters Local. I certainly want to thank him and everyone who helped to put the day together. It was really an outstanding program, and it's easier to understand the issues that we face with staffing and funding when you can experience it firsthand. I do want to provide you with a certificate of recognition from me for your work putting this program together, and so I'd like to read this certificate. This certificate of recognition is presented to the Career Firefighters Association of Frederick County and appreciate for sponsoring Fire Ops 101 to give decision makers a greater understanding of what it's like to be a firefighter and the importance of providing first responders with the training, equipment, and other resources needed to do the job safely and effectively. Your day-long program brought together local elected officials and their staffs to participate in hands-on fire and rescue drills under the controlled supervision of firefighters and paramedics. Participants learned various fire and emergency medical service operations and how to suit up in protective care and how to advance a fire. Fire Ops 101 provided a valuable and unforgettable experience and helped us gain a deeper appreciation for the job fire and rescue personnel do each and every day. Congratulations to the Career Firefighters Association of Frederick County for your outstanding Fire Ops 101 program and for all you do to keep our community safe. And it's signed and presented to you today. Now, I know you want to say a few words, and so I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. One, I want to thank you, along with Vivian and Roger, for taking the time, and it was on a Sunday, to come out and spend the day with us. I want to thank, I had over 40 local members out there to help assist, and again, we created that controlled environment for you all to learn what it's like to do what we do on a daily basis in an uncontrolled environment. Fire ops is there to, definitely help the decision makers understand why we ask for staffing, what it takes to get a job done, along with anytime. I know a lot of times we hear the citizens saying, why are there so many fire trucks on the scene? Why do you see so many people responding? Now you have a better understanding of how to explain that, because it just doesn't take one person on an ambulance or two people on a fire truck or one person on a squad. It takes several people, because everybody has a job. Everybody knows what they do when they come off. And I think in the last scenario that we showed that day, the difference between how we run the day versus how you would be able to do it with staff pieces of apparatus, and the amount of time difference it was able to take for us to put out a fire and rescue victims, I think was a 10-minute difference by the time we showed the difference of actual timing, how we do actual work and when we have the normal responses. So it does make a difference, especially in this past week where we've had 2 tragic fires in the Emmitsburg area. It's essential for us to have staffing out there, coming out the door, ready to do things, and make those quick decisions in order to, one, put out fires, but also not rescue people, and again, their animals, et cetera. I'll even use this as an opportunity. It is that time of year. Everybody has their trees up, their lights up. Make sure you're watering your tree if you have a live tree every day, along with making sure you don't overload your plugs. It's great that we're here. We're an insurance policy, but at the same point in time, there's things that we can do. But again, when it really gets down to it, you learned how to extricate people out of a car by cutting up a car, which you found the tools were heavy. Going into a house fire, advancing a hose line, gave them the opportunity, what we call the stand up, sit down before putting the fire out, getting up, feeling the difference in the heat. Again, Fire Ops 101 is out there known as feel the heat. We want you to understand how hot it does get in some of these environments we go into. CPR, what it takes just to not only perform it for 20 minutes and the exhaustion that you get into it, but also then having to remove that individual, that patient, from a house into the back of an ambulance. And a couple of you got the opportunity to do CPR in the back of an ambulance. And then finally going through the maze and checking your ability of how much you like crawling around in the dark, not knowing what you're coming up on, which we do every day and we train for. I want to thank Stephen Jones and Robert James, who were actually my 2 leads chairing this event, to make sure everybody was there, things were done properly, and had enough supplies for everybody. We do have to thank Chief Owens on the end down there for allowing us to use the training center. It does take time. It takes away finding a weekend and a day that there's not activities going on there that we can take over for the whole day and do this event. And the supplier of our gear, Globe Manufacturing, actually sent us all the gear that we used that day so that we didn't have to go into our stock, and we could send it back for them to clean and not be an expense to the county. So what I'll do is, real quick, I'm going to present each one of you with your helmets that you used that day. We hope that you display them proudly in your offices, at home, whatever place that you feel necessary. But again, it's there to be a reminder of the things that we've try to teach you, plus the fact of the experiences that you learned, and also the fact that you were able to be a firefighter for a day and enjoy that feeling also. So again, thank you for your time and your efforts. And again, Stephen.
Would you like to say anything?
Just again, to reiterate what John said, on behalf of the committee members and Local 3666, we just want to thank you for your participation. This was a big deal and a big program for us. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I would like to have both Vivian and Roger add their comments from the experience.
It was a great experience. I'm the daughter of an EMT for 30 plus years. She was active in our local ambulance, and I thought I had a pretty good understanding of what she was doing all those times. But I got to tell you, it was eye-opening. And if I never have to do the maze again, it'll be too soon. But the rest of it, I had a great time. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Just as Vivian expressed, that day was just so fulfilling. As a little boy, I had always wanted to be a fireman, growing up, and imagine what it would be like. And that day kind of checked the box for me. It was a wonderful experience, and it changed my whole perspective on what you guys do every day. And you have to be on your A game every day, when you're called, and that's very much appreciated. So thank you for the opportunity.
Do you want to add something, Chief O?
Certainly express my appreciation to the local executive. This is the first time they've run this program. It takes a great deal of time, effort, organization. The 40 members that you heard President Neary comment from the local that were there that day were there on their own time. It was a volunteer effort. The county's role was certainly to provide the facility and lend the background staff support to make the program ready, but I think it was very well run. Hopefully this is something that can be repeated in the future for other members of our community and elected officials. It's a program that really helps advance the conversation and improve the understanding of the nature of the fire rescue business. It's very easy to stand on the sidewalk and watch us work. Sometimes it looks like a mess of confusion. This program helps you understand that it is very wrought in procedure and is more organized than what the casual observer might think. So with that, certainly thanks to the three of you for taking your Sunday and joining the effort to understand a little more about our business, and to the local for putting on a good program. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. This was a really fun and interesting experience. We appreciate the opportunity to learn more about what our firefighters and EMTs do every day to serve the public. It is really a tough job. The training really does matter. And I know we all learned a lot and appreciate what you do. So thank you for joining us. And if you see one of our fires out there, please thank them for the job they do to keep our community safe each and every day. Thank you for joining us.